gosh. Okay, let's try that again. Good morning. What's up, folks? I have been talking this whole time. Gosh, I had things backwards on my um, streaming software. So, my apologies for that. You guys can hear me okay now? Somebody give me a thumbs up or whatever. I'm going to start everything I just said, probably to no avail with nobody hearing anything. So, I guess it bears repeating at that point. But you guys can hear me okay now? Somebody give me a yes, thumbs up. Good to go. I saw a little heart emoji. I'm guessing that's good. Yeah, no, yeah, it's OBS. I've got like two different mics set up. I need to find a better way to streamline this. My apologies for that. All right, so let's go back, rewind real quick. What are we talking about? Well, I was talking that you guys couldn't hear about NVIDIA's ER pretty much saving the market once again. Talked about some of the turbulence that we saw yesterday after some of those sound bites from Goldman Sachs regarding potential rate hikes still being on the table, and then that was shortly followed by the FOMC minutes, which I think read a little bit more hawkish or fearful than I think how the press conference was handled after the most recent rate decision. So maybe a little bit of a surprise as far as like how much kind of concern there still is on the Fed's side of things, and that kind of shortly after the Goldman Sachs soundbite about potential rate hikes still being on the table. I think that certainly put the market in a place of trepidation. We've clearly been pricing in rate cuts, not rate hikes. But like I said, NVIDIA ER came through, saved the market, quote unquote. We talked on Tuesday about this supply zone and this demand zone, these 4-hour zones here overhead. We were probably going to chop in this range until something broke out. As we saw, or this was our discussion here probably Tuesday morning around this time. In fact, let's go over here to the hourly. It's a little bit more granular. So we were talking about this, Tuesday morning we saw late in the day, or Tuesday really overnight, a rejection up here of that demand zone. Things pulled back. Ultimately, I'm sorry, supply zone. Things pulled back, ultimately held demand, and in my opinion created kind of a new different looking demand zone. But what we talked about on Tuesday is once we saw a breakout over this, and really kind of better confirmation was over this 5352 5350 kind of stack of these old fib extensions that I drew, I don't know, months ago. So we saw these break over and back test for the first time here, caught things really nicely there. We're double bottom here on the hourly off that 5350 level. And I said, once this clears out, we'll probably see this 53.6775 fib extension. Well, here we are testing that pre-market with a little bit of resistance being found there. So no surprises there. Definitely have some fib extensions I need to add and go back and revisit to try to project untested resistances again. But I think so far, all of our analysis is played out beautifully. And just to update my chart, we can now get rid of that supply zone, and I'm going to adjust this to just be one big demand zone. This big 4-hour doji like that just looks like a huge demand zone to me, especially the way price action played out leading up to it. So anyway, that's what we're looking at for the market overall. I think we've kind of opened up a lot of room for price discovery here. Personally, I'd like to see a little bit more back testing. We are a little bit overextended at the moment, so I'd like to see some more back testing of this 53.52, 53.50, these couple of levels right here. So keep those on watch. If you watch futures, that could be a great place to try to buy the dip on ETFs or specific tickers, what have you. All right, so let's just catch up on our member selected tickers from over the weekend. AMD yesterday gave us a nice breakout. It's really kind of struggled to get a good strong close over this old trend line I talked about a couple of times. It was a support trend. It became a resistance trend. We finally have smashed through that with NVIDIA's earnings report yesterday. Also, we picked up some shares in anticipation of that being a positive result. I alerted those in the pro alerts over on the stock side of things. These are shares that I'll probably hold for a little while longer because AMD does look like it's going to break out here nicely and probably start playing through the rest of our trade plan levels. But we are seeing here pre-market a test of PT1 for calls, again, after that breakover and back test here. So PT1 for calls hitting this morning. Make sure that you book profits at open, move your stops up into break even territory. and be ready to take some more profits up here as we test 172.68. But AMD is moving nicely to the upside, and now that it's above this trend line and finding support above it, I really like AMD here near term to continue to the upside. So keep an eye on it. Shop, we talked about this one on Tuesday. Well, no, I'm sorry, I mentioned this one in the chat yesterday. Nice consolidation as we went into close, created a nice base off our put entry key support there. Unfortunately, a lot of that took place while we couldn't do anything about it from an option standpoint, but if you picked up shares there, great job. Nicely done. But we did gap up after building up that base of support. We've now tested the call entry, haven't broken above it yet, but nice back test here of the stop loss average down shared on both sides of this trade plan that it bounced off of. Is trying to push higher here this morning with the market moving up. We could see shop test this 59.72 level weekly resistance there again and try to break out and push even higher towards some of our price targets up in the $61 to $64 range. So keep shop on watch. It could be looking for a breakout here, but yeah, nice back test of support there off the stop loss average down level and continuing to push higher here pre-market. And then Clean Spark, this one made a massive run off of our put entry support, pretty much all the way up to the call entry. Kind of got hung up there a little bit, then broke over, found support on it. Neptune fully bullish until we got this big launch there yesterday, hit PT1 plus, pulled back for another back test of the call entry and seems to be bouncing again. SMAs are catching up, so it's not quite as overextended as it once was. Would be interested to see if Clean Spark came back and gave us another test at this 1831 level. That could be a good spot to go long on it, whether that be with calls or shares. So, take your pick there. But we'll be watching Clean Spark for another test of that 1831 level as support to potentially go long on it. Oh yeah, you know what? Thanks, Strife. Glad you said something. I should still be sending this to Discord, and of course with my little bit of technical difficulties there, I've forgotten to get the Discord stream going, but I've been warning folks, we are pushing this over strictly to YouTube pretty soon, so maybe that was an inadvertent test of people's readiness to shift over to YouTube. So anyway, yeah, apologies for those audio difficulties. Again, my OBS settings were just, I had one mic turned on, the other off, and it's not my nice, good mic that I use when I'm at my office. So, we did plans on Thursday for Arista Networks. This one never gave us a breakout to the upside, slowly but surely broke down to the downside, broke below the put entry. Well, I'm talking about stuff that happened prior to our trade plan, so not sure why I'm even touching on that. But we broke down, back tested there on Tuesday after we discussed this trade plan. The put entry as resistance, ultimately rejecting the 200 SMA, 200 and 333 are curling down. It dumped yesterday after hours and is testing our first price target here pre-market, so be ready to take some profits if you're already in Arista Networks. Would be interesting. I don't really expect this to happen, but who knows with the way NVIDIA is moving things around. Would be interesting to see if it does come up and test 317 again. If it does, I'd say that's probably a really good spot to go short. Keep your stop loss. I'd say you could probably use the 200 SMA on the 15-minute chart as your stop loss. So keep Arista on watch for continuation to the downside. And then Snow, we talked about Tuesday pre-market. This one did give us a break to the downside below our put entry there at 163.49. Ultimately caught PT1 as support and has made higher lows since then, leading into that earnings report. Earnings sent it way up to the upside. Now it's here on the call side of the plan, testing call price target 2 for calls there at 171.04 as resistance, but overall looking pretty strong. 175 could definitely see another test of that as long as 169.82 holds. So keep those levels on watch. All right, let's do some trade plans here this morning. What do you guys want me to take a look at? I haven't seen any ticker requests yet, other than just people helping me out with my audio issues. Failure to launch there on the audio side of things. So what tickers do you guys want us to take a look at this morning? Let's do some trade plans. Let's dig in. Thank you for bearing with me through those that brief little few minutes of dead air. I, again, did not realize that my key mic was looted. CD wants to take a look at Lulu. Let's take a look at it. All right. Lulu, I thought I charted Lulu before. Let's see. Why do I not see any levels? I guess not. Maybe I'm thinking of Alta. That could be what I'm thinking of. Gosh, I swear I've done a Lulu trade plan though at some point. Oh well, no big deal. Let's figure it out. All right, so starting here on the weekly chart, let's find our support and resistance levels. Going to try to find sort of a reasonable low that we want to keep on watch. Celsius, United Health, Microsoft Coin. Okay, I think we've got some ticker requests, probably more than I can get through at this point, so I appreciate you guys chiming in. We'll see how many of these we can knock out here in short order. This is an interesting level. It's not super clean. It's what I'm going to kind of use as sort of a potential near-term bottom, although I am curious. Below that probably sees 226, but I think if we're playing for anything more than that on downside, we probably are getting a little bit greedy. All right, so let's figure out the rest of these levels so we can get these trade plans done for you guys. If you guys have any questions, let's see, crowd, just throwing, yeah, no, I appreciate it, CD. You're always helpful, always here watching, chiming in. I do appreciate it. We are trying to help grow our not so little community at Xtrades by, you know, putting this stuff out there on the interwebs in the hopes that people see what we're doing, they see the value of the educational content that we're putting together, they're willing to put some time and effort into learning how to execute trade plans. Let's not get too dependent on alerts. Alerts are really more of a tool than a crutch, or at least that's how they should be treated. I think far too many people just want to rely solely on being spoon-fed, when to get in, when to get out. I get that, but you know, is that really serving you well in the long run? I don't think so. My personal take on it. So yeah, anyway, come check us out. There's tons of like-minded individuals out there trying to figure out how to continue to be consistent with our trading, be profitable with our trading, be methodical with our trading, almost robotic with our trading. Try to check those emotions, look at things as trade plans working or trade plans not working. That's kind of my approach to it. Keeps the ego out of the mix. All right, so I think that's what we're looking at for weekly levels. Lulu, I know, is a pretty good volume trader. I don't need to check too deeply on the difference between extended or regular trading hours for this one. Hey Dennis, you can, are you on our Discord? Are you in the Xtrades Discord community? If so, you can shoot me a DM there, or actually I can send you this. It's like, what's the best way to have, I forgot I have an email address. You can shoot me an email to that email address, ntsindicator@gmail.com, or DM me on Discord, either or. Let me know what questions you have. I'm certainly happy to help share what insights I can, and we could discuss access and all that sort of stuff. I, you know, put this tool in the hands of a lot of people. I haven't had anybody reach out and say, man, this thing just ain't helping me. In fact, most people tell me I'm not charging enough, but that's okay. I'm not really, you know, I don't like to, I don't ever want to be viewed as a greedy person or anything like that. I think that there's definitely value in what I've built with Neptune, so I don't want to undermine that, but so I don't just give it away. But you know, could I charge more? Yeah. Will I? I mean, not unless I make some major feature improvement or something like that. I try to just put out what I think is a fair price, I guess is probably the right way to say it. Without, again, I want it to be accessible though, right? Because if people aren't using it, then it kind of defeats the purpose of building it and putting it out there, right? So yeah, just reach out, whatever works for you, man. Email, Discord, any of the above. Will get in touch with me and I will walk you through whatever you need to discuss or want to discuss or see. All right, so man, Lulu's been on a trend of getting its ass kicked here. And I'm guessing, yeah, I was going to say, I'm guessing that was all based on a recent earnings report. They do have another one coming up on June 5th, so keep that in mind. So let's do. I think we're looking at, could be, catch that. It's not confirmed yet. I mean, if that's where, which would be the cleanest spot to look at this downtrend, we only have 2 touches, so it's not confirmed yet, but there is definitely downward momentum on it at the moment. Yeah, good call. We can take a look at NVIDIA real quick. I think it was actually, real quick, I was looking at it last night. It's already been hitting some of my existing fib extensions from the last couple of sets I did. Forget how long ago I did those, but here's my NVIDIA fib extensions. And so I have noted after that earnings report, this test and rejection of this 998.47 followed pretty quickly by a breakover and back test. I like that. And then really consolidating and running up against the next fib extension over that at 1022.07. So if it can break out over that, I mean, I don't have anything else in the way currently until we hit 1056.39. So keep those on watch. But yeah, really happy with how well these untested fib extensions have played out here on NVIDIA, especially catching this earnings move with a kind of a triple top right off this 1022.07. You can't see it, but I'm patting myself on the back for those fib extensions. Those are playing out very nicely. All right. Trying to figure out what we're going to do with Lulu here. Try to expedite this process so we can get through more than just a couple of trade plans, but it's kind of on a grind to the downside, a pretty rapid one. It's not, at least in the current price range or more recent price action, showing a lot of support or resistance. I need to go back to hiding this for a second just so I can focus on finding my support and resistance levels for a minute here. That's always step one for me, and then I turn the indicators on and let them do the work from that point forward. Yeah, something worth looking at there. I did this level a little quick. I think it's actually a bit lower there. All right, I think that actually is looking probably pretty good, although, yeah, let's check below 289.46. And real quick, I'm just gonna, so I don't lose track, I know I need to probably find some more granular support levels below that. Let's see what we've got. Kind of torn between 2 potential spots here as far as trying to find a support down in this range for Lulu. Yeah, this is what I was looking at. Kind of like it okay now. Just looking at this breakover and back test, and kind of really hasn't looked back very much since. So that'll be an interesting level to keep on watch while we're here. Let's see if that doesn't wind up being a level. Bingo. Yep. Okay. I think we're pretty good now. So let's take a look at the hourly. Let's get our indicators on. Let's plan this sucker out. All right. Way overextended to the downside. Look at one more time frame here. So, all right, here's what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking for Lulu. I mean, there's definitely going to be upside opportunities. It's just sell pressure though, all the way up through that. But all right, we'll give this a shot. It's got to bounce sometime. It is pretty overextended to the downside, so as bearish as it looks, I could see some rebalancing taking place. If it could break over 304.32, may have this level. Let me check this 297.44 real quick. Sorry, I might have that a little bit low. Yeah, things that are bearish can be oversold and stay oversold, right, CD? But yeah, I mean, it looks that way. Yeah, you're right. It does. It looks very overextended. It looks like it's been overextended for quite some time. Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I can tell you that my wife buys a lot of Lulu, so I'll put that in the for what it's worth category. I don't know what their uh, you know price to earnings ratio looks like or anything like that, so it could be greatly overvalued as far as stock prices go. All right, we've seen some bounces higher, but looking at kind of where I think the real level is here, I think 297.44 makes for a good stop loss. Neptune's got key selling pressure up here on the bearish flag. Also confluence with that 313.94 weekly level. I think that could be a little bit of a magnet for another test up near this prior rejection that could send us lower. Also wonder if I maybe have that weekly level a little high. Let me just check that real quick. Come on. There we go. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I think it is actually. Make a slight adjustment to this. It's sitting more like right here, I'd say. Yeah, that gets us a lot closer to that rejection too. So sitting more like 313.21 there. Over that, I could see a potential retracement up here to 323.70. And then honestly, it's got kind of a tight PT 2 and 3, but it's also we're going to be moving up toward this downtrend, and probably eventually also these SMAs coming down and catching up. So probably not a whole lot more upside before I'd want to be all out, and I'd want to see some kind of confirmation that we're going to break through some of this stuff up overhead before I look for more over 328.55. So kind of a really tight PT2-3, but that's just what the chart's showing, and that's how we set up our plans, right? We don't want to insert our, desire to have things be more evenly spaced out or to look a little bit more, pleasing to the eye, fit our bias a little bit more. Just do what the chart's telling you to do. That's the best advice I can give anybody in the world of trading. What's up, Chris? Good morning, brother. How are you? Good to see you here. You missed a chance to catch me totally talking to nobody for a little while there this morning. Well, better late than never, brother. Glad you're here. You always come with some good ticker requests. Trying to figure out this Lulu plan at the moment. So far for downside, I could extend a little bit below this. I also drew these 4 hours kind of quickly, but could also be that we just have a couple of levels that are close to each other. There's about a 1% range there. All right, let's fill in the blanks a little bit. Let's use this hourly level as our second price target. Below that, say we take a shot down here at 259.55. All right, so here's what our Lulu trade plans are going to look like. Yeah, no buenos, absolutely right, but boy, do those pants do some impressive things. Again, my wife is diehard Lulu. I'm all for that. All right, here are our Lulu. Whoops, Lulu. Live stream plans. There you go. Let me pop over to the Discord, drop this in the watch list. Again, for those watching on Discord, reminder, go to YouTube. Starting in June. No more Discord feed unless something I get told to do something different, pretty much, or I feel like we need to shift. But I think everybody's done pretty well and is liking the YouTube approach to things. If anybody feel, you know what, before we shift over, I will try to, before this weekend, put together some kind of a survey so I can get y'all's input. What do you like more, Discord, YouTube, and also get some feedback on, what do you think we could do differently or better to make these a little bit more engaging, or give you guys just that little bit more value. What do you want to see? Let's I agree, Chris. 007's a genius. All right, let's see. We had Lulu, then we had Microsoft and Coin for Dennis. Let's see. Microsoft up in some fib extension territory here. Let's check Coin as well. Let's see which one of these looks more interesting. Coin's also gonna be the more volatile of the two. Let's take one more look at this. Just trying to see if one of them has like a trade plan that just jumps out at me. You know what? Let's go with Coin. Then we're relying less on fib extensions, more on price history, which is really my preference anyway. Might need to make some adjustments here. It's been a little while since I've looked at Coin. I'll be the first to tell you that. So let's take a look at this, make sure there's nothing that really needs to be updated. Whoops, I do want that, but I want this. Let me get rid of these guys. Don't need those anymore. Trend lines, I don't think these are really in play anymore either. Just want to try to clean up my price levels here a little bit. That looks a lot better already. Grab that level. There we go. Yep, that's good enough. All right. Get out of here. Don't need this anymore either. Old trade plan, long short tools, and these gaps have filled in. Okay. Does look like it's broken out of a pretty significant weekly downtrend. It's not sitting right there. It's sitting right there. Yeah. This was maybe a little bit of a fake out. Got another clean test, but this week strongly above. It doesn't look like it has any interest in looking back so far. So that's a good sign for Coin. Gonna probably try to push from here. I feel pretty good about where the levels are at that I've seen so far. Do we have? Yeah, I think we have a 4-hour level sitting right here. I didn't have yet. Let's get that in place. Weekly resistance right overhead. Not surprised. That's where we're finding a bit of a challenge. Was some recent rejections near that, and a base off that. So yeah, I like this as our call entry. First target. Up here at, what's that, 249.52. Second target. Gonna take a shot, a crazy shot, at getting past that weekly and getting up to this daily at 253.86. And over that, I like this was that 261.02, I think. Yep. Stop loss, average down. Interesting gap level that filled, rejected, and we're back up against it. This might be, sorry, I'm trying to really nail down where this stop loss needs to be. I think this 231.70 level. Yeah, I think I've either the price has moved things around a little bit. I think it's sitting more like there at 232.34. Also, I should have noticed that. Winds up giving us a decent little confluence there with the 200 SMA. So I like that as a stop loss average down level. There is another level I don't have that's sitting. I think it is a little higher, isn't it? No. Let's see. Yeah, there's another level sitting right here. I think would actually make for a good put entry level. Gives us a first target down here at 221.37. We'll share a stop loss with the upside trade plan. Below that, again, I'm not going to swear I have all of my levels totally mapped out here on coin in this range. Yeah, I think we've got something right here. It's a little messy. I'm reading between the lines a little bit, but I think that's the spot. For PT2, below that, kind of eyeballing this 210.76. Yeah, 210.76. All right, so this is what our coin trade plans are going to look like. Definitely giving it some room to work to the upside, but it does look like it's favoring upside at the moment. Bitcoin testing all-time highs. I think if and when Bitcoin breaks out, there's not going to be, I think what we saw last run through, and I'm no crypto expert, but I think what we saw the last time through with Bitcoin was there was a lot of bag holders that loaded up in the, low to mid to high 60s range that probably averaged down and have used that range at some point and have used that range as a spot to unload a lot. But now I think we're trying to actually make a legit breakout. I think a lot of those bag holders have adjusted their positions and are ready to hold for a little bit longer. I could be totally wrong about all that, but anyway, FYI. All right, so oh, okay, sorry, I must have missed that. I will do into next. Thank you for pointing that out. Sorry, I'm trying to track a bunch of stuff here. All right, so here we're looking at our coin trade plans. Oops, let me put in coin live stream trade plans. There we go. All right, get that over to our Discord. So, what are we looking for here on coin? We're looking. Did I recap the Lulu plan? I think I did. If I didn't, stop me. I'm all over the place this morning. All right, so we're looking for a break over 239.55 here on coin. That should give us targets at 249.52, 253.86, and 261.02 with a stop loss average down at 235.28. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 227.99, call it 228. That should give us downside targets at 221.37, 217.29, and 210.76 with a shared stop loss average down at 235.28 with the upside trade plan. All right, let's get to into. Sorry about that unknown. I did totally miss that. My apologies. Oh, yeah. Gosh, I see it now. My bad. Thank you for catching me. Into no real extended hours volume to speak of. So we'll do this one on the regular trading hours chart. Again, for now, just so I can get my levels built up. I want as little on the chart as possible for the moment. Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna have to do this plan a little quick, but that's okay. Like what I see so far. I think there's something there, but it's not a weekly level, so we'll put that on watch. Interesting double bottom, or close to a double bottom way back in the day. Not much else there, though. Yeah, it's not really suiting my eye. That level I was looking at. There is a level there, though. That's probably a good bottom. Let's also mark off our all-time high. All right. Anything else that I see kind of potentially here on the weekly chart? I think there's something here too, but it's not a weekly level. It's one that we'll take a look at. All right, so let's get over to the daily chart. Can we nail down this 671.89? That's my first question. Could be that it's a little bit sitting more like here. Let's see what that looks like back this way. Yeah, that's kind of what we're running right up against. So I think that looks pretty decent for a daily level. Let's check this guy down here already. Kind of liking it as a daily level. Yeah, the more recent price action looks pretty clean at that level. All right. Let's see if we can't find most of what we're going to need in this little range. It'll probably be a little bit of a challenge to do that, but let's see. Yeah, I don't love that. This looks interesting, though. Probably sitting right about here. Yeah, Into makes some kind of wonky moves. Looked really nice on the weekly chart, but as soon as you get into anything lower than that, it's a little bit spastic. That's just my 2 cents. That doesn't mean anything as far as executing trade plans go. Just an observation. Something right there. Does that keep us in a good spot this way? Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. I think all that looks pretty good. Could have another daily level there actually at 566. I know these look like these levels are real tight together, but once we start getting into hourly and smaller time frames, you're going to see all the room that actually exists in between these levels that we're mapping out. All right. It's an interesting little move there. Let's see. Get some confirmation, some validation on it. Not really, not yet. It may not have any. Okay. It's an interesting level. We're going to keep it on watch. There. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good one. Definitely like this level already. Okay, so the other thing that we're going to need to do real quick, let's go back to this one little stretch where we have a little bit of price action, not a lot of bit of price action. There's something sitting right there though. We do have, it looks like, potentially, in fact, I'm fairly certain, a gap to fill. All right, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, let me take one more quick look back here. Then I'm ready. But I'm looking at this 673.99, call it 674 as an entry. There is also a gap that just filled. It's trying to continue past here. Again, that's filled. I'm just going to put that as a placeholder for a second. I think this level sits a little bit higher, like right there. All right. So I think what we're looking for is a break over this 673.99. I'm sorry, let me get my indicators on here, make sure I'm not missing anything. I like, it's kind of a one-to-one risk reward setup, which isn't ideal, but not the end of the world. I would definitely scale out heavy at this gap fill there at 692.06. That could easily reject. Let's take a quick look on the hourly and see if we have any additional levels we can spot real quick between 692 and 716. It was a very big, quick move last time we pushed through that range, but I was only looking at higher time frames. Yeah, not a whole lot that's going to be super helpful, to be honest. Although, looking at this a little bit more zoomed out, that gap, although I like that level right where it's at, so we're going to leave that alone. The gap really doesn't close until just a little bit higher, but I really like where that level's, what that level's showing so far. I would be interested by this 703.30 level. What is this? November of 21. Or what? 19th of 21. We're not going to be able to go back that far. I don't think. We'll see. No, we can't. Yeah, I'd like to see that build up a little bit more, but I don't hate it. Let's check. I'll check one more thing actually. Sorry. And then we're gonna nail this down. I promise. Yeah, it didn't really vibe with any fib retracements in that range either, so it's kind of a flyer, long shot that winds up being resistance, but I think it's a smart place to take profit instead of trying to hold for a massive upside move. I feel like that's a little bit, I don't know, feels greedy, I guess is probably the right way to say it. So that's what I'm looking at for the upside of things. Downside, there is a gap to fill to the downside. Got a level here. I think we wind up being a price target. Because what I'm thinking is looking for a break below, then I think it would get a little bit more confirmation. Actually, let me check one more thing. Sorry, 652.11. Yeah, a little bit better confirmation there at that level. Excuse me. So I like that as a first target. I also like flipping this, filling in some blanks here, to adding this as a stop loss average down. Yep, right color, okay. So I think we have a gap test followed by a potential gap fill for our first two targets. Below that, yeah, I think we got to be smart and just take the rest of the profits there at 631.27. So these are your into trade plans. Thank you guys for pointing that out. Sorry, unknown reviews. I did not mean to see past this request. Oh, and of course, unknown reviews. Aftermarket earnings report today. Should have known. All right, here are your into live streams. And what are we looking at? Let me post this everyone here. What are we looking at for into it here? We're looking for a break over 673.99, call it 674. Four upside targets at 684, 692.06, sorry, 684.30, 692.06, and 703.30, with a stop loss average down at 662.76. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 652.11. That should bring targets at 642.24, 637.27, and 631.27, with a stop loss average down at 659.45. All right, a little less than 10 minutes until market opens, so I do need to go get to work on the daily SPY plan so I can get that posted in the options watch list for our Discord members. So I want to thank you guys for being here as always. Just a reminder, we are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Xtrades YouTube live feed, the FOMO live stream. So as we always say here on the FOMO live streams, plan your trades, trade your plans, go out there and get some green. I will see you guys in the chat, and I'll see you back here next week, Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day and enjoy your weekend. Take care.